Hi, beautiful. Welcome to A Course in Miracles workbook, lesson 53. So we're still in the review period, and today we'll review the following. This is a review of lesson 11. My meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. Since the thoughts of which I am aware do not mean anything, the world that pictures them can have no meaning. Oh my gosh. I just want to say I have compassion for anyone hearing this and going, no way. Because I remember the first time I went through A Course in Miracles, a lot of this didn't make sense to me, and I was like, no way. And now having been through it a few times and experiencing the reality of it, I'm like, wow, thank you for freeing me from that Maya illusion, from that illusion of pain, from that illusion of fear. Indeed, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world. I remember I used to have an identity that was fixated on solving problems, and I was not aware that I was manufacturing a lot of problems to solve so that I could have my ego could keep its identity. And when Spirit, through A Course in Workbooks, through meditation and contemplation, was able to show me that I was the cause of all my problems, which was very hard for my ego to accept because that meant the death of ego, really. I mean, that starts to dissolve and chip away at the strength of the ego. So no wonder it resists, right? But when I started to accept that as true, I stopped having problems. Reality ceased to exist in the old way. This is going to sound strange if you're not at this phase. If you're flowing into this, it will make sense. I actually went through a period of deep depression when I stopped having problems because I had lost my ego's identity as problem solver. And I had associated my worth with my identity of being a problem solver. And indeed, that is why I had created so many problems in my life, so that I could show everyone what a good girl I was by solving them. And when I gave up that identity and stopped manufacturing all these problems in my external reality, through my need to identify with ego, to identify as a problem solver, I was so bored. And it took a while to acclimate. And I want you to know, if you're going through A Course in Miracles and you start feeling unrest and dis-ease and boredom, it is the dying gasps of your ego's grasp. It'll be okay. It will be okay. Review of lesson 12. I'm upset because I see a meaningless world. Insane thoughts are upsetting. They produce a world in which there is no order anywhere. Only chaos rules a world that presents chaotic thinking, and chaos has no laws. I cannot live in peace in such a world. I am grateful that this world is not real, and that I need not see it at all unless I choose to value it. And I do not choose to value what is totally insane and has no meaning. I'm telling you, you're going to get to the point where things that seem strange to you in A Course in Miracles seem completely and totally self-evident. Review of lesson 13. A meaningless world engenders fear. The totally insane engenders fear because it is completely undependable and offers no grounds for trust. Nothing in madness is dependable. It holds out no safety and no hope. But such a world is not real. I have given it the illusion of reality and have suffered from my belief in it. Now I choose to withdraw this belief and place my trust in reality. In choosing this, I will escape all the effects of the world of fear because I am acknowledging that it does not exist. We're not pretending that it doesn't exist. We're acknowledging that it doesn't exist. Review of lesson 14. God did not create a meaningless world. The ego did that. I'm going to pause for a moment and say, I've had discussions with myself, with others about, well, if the ego is so horrible, then why does it exist? Didn't God create everything? God created everything that is real and gave us free will. And with that free will, we are welcome to have delusions and illusions and make stuff up. Doesn't make it real, thank goodness. But that is part of our birthright, is free will. And it can be used to create beauty and joy and peace and love, or it can be used to create misery and suffering. That's our choice. How can a meaningless world exist if God did not create it? He is the source of all meaning, and everything that is real is in his mind. It is in my mind too, because he created it with me. Why should I continue to suffer from the effects of my own insane thoughts when the perfection of creation is my home, is our true home? Let me remember the power of my decision and recognize where I really abide. Review of lesson 15. My thoughts are images that I have made. Whatever I see reflects my thoughts. It is my thoughts that tell me where I am and what I am. The fact that I see a world in which there is suffering and loss and death shows me that I am seeing only the representation of my insane thoughts, and am not allowing my real thoughts to cast their beneficent light on what I see. Yet God's way is sure. The images I have made cannot prevail against him, because it is not my will, it's not my true will, that they do so. My will is his. And I will place no other gods before him. Our true will we share with God, because God's will is that we are happy, that we know peace and joy. And your true will is not insane. And it shares these goals with the Father, with the love that you are and that God is. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow for lesson 54.